I have the privilege to be sitting with Allister Thompson, who is one of the executive members of the St. Kitts Nevis Netball Association. Now, recently they held a tournament which had matches played in St. Kitts and Nevis as well. And I must say the crowds kind of rallied behind the tournament, especially the final night. There was a decent crowd on hand, very supportive. Now, Ali, what are your thoughts on the tournament? How well did it go in your regard?
Well, Curtis, good evening. The tournament had its challenges, must say, more than I really anticipated, but we worked through them all, and I think the tournament turned out well. There's no secret that at the end of it there was some challenges, but in terms of the finals, the games for the final night. But all in all, it went well. I think the support here in Nevis was great. So much so that when we had the discussion of where to have the finals, it was a no-gamer. It was just automatic that it will be in Nevis. So all in all, it went well.
Speaking of which, at the end of it, my understanding is that a netball squad has been selected to represent St. Kitts and Nevis. Can you talk us through that squad a little bit more about that?
Well, this tournament was put together in order to select a St. Kitts Nevis netball team to go off later next month. And so at the end of it, the selectors gave us a list of names to form the squad. I think it's some 27 or 28 names was given to us. And so that's the squad we have in training now. There was only one team from Nevis in this tournament, and part of making the squad, you had to play in this tournament. So, yes, there might be players who deserve to be on the team, but because they did not play in the tournament, they cannot be on the team.
And you don't have that list to hand, right?
Well, again, I may not have the entire list to hand, Curtis, but again, there's only 3 players, I think, from Nevis: Diana Brown, Shinette Ski, Tashika Bowen. Those are the 3 from Nevis, and the others are from St. Kitts.
So in terms of the practice, the logistics would be basically they might practice in St. Kitts. And how are the practice days, how it's being coordinated?
Well, because we are pressing for time, and I must tell you that the management structure for this team shows that myself, Thompson, I am the team manager. Macefield Nisbet is the trainer. Valerie Nisbet is the coach. Sailor assists Macefield, and Neshon Maynard assists Valerie in the coaching. So that's the management team for the we have training 4 days per week: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, from 6 until 9. Because in St. Kitts, we are pressing for time, and we really need to get these ladies up to where we need them. So training is 4 days per week in St. Kitts.
So what's the ultimate goal? There's a tournament coming up, and where?
Well, the OECS ECCB International Tournament will be held in Antigua from the 29th of September until the 8th of October. And we are putting a team into that tournament. There's some 9 teams taking part because it's a ranking tournament. So you have teams like Barbados and Caymans in it to help with the ranking of these teams. So yes, there is 9 teams. At this time, unfortunately, the champion from last year, St. Vincent, would not be able to attend that tournament, but there's still some other 9 teams taking part in Antigua from the 29th of next month.
And realistically, what do you think, based on what you saw during the tournament, what do you think are the chances of the SKN team?
Because this, I must say, last year we went to this tournament in Dominica and we did not play. I think we came last. But that is not our position, and we understood why we were in that position, and that is why we have this intense training at this time, because that's definitely not the position we are looking for. And we have instructed the trainer, we have instructed the coach on what we are looking for, and from all indication, they are putting in the work to give us what we are looking for.
So, based on the experience last year, how is the team makeup? Pretty similar, or based on the squad training now, there might be some big differences.
Well, not big, huge differences. I think from last year, when I'm looking at the team now, there's only, I think it's either 4 or 5 players from last year's team that is actually in the squad this year. And so it's a huge, we expect to see an almost brand new team. Almost. I must say last year, because of the COVID and the restriction and the vaccination, we did not get the best of the best. We had to settle with vaccinated players. And so we did not get the best players. Some of the best players, because some that were on the team were really deserving to be on any team that is selected. But we did not get the best team. This year we have, as I said, we have a squad of some 28 players that in the next week and a half, we'll be cutting that squad by 7. And then the following 2 weeks, we're cutting it by another 7, because we are only traveling with 13 players. And so we are going to bring it down to 13. One of the things for this tournament, ECCB has says that you must have a player under 21 in the team, and they'll take responsibility for that player. And so that's how we end up with 13, because it's normally 12.
Well, you guys have a big task on your hand. You have 28. You're going to eliminate 7. Then you're going to eliminate another 7. What criteria are you using? Would you have matches? Would you look at the punctuality at practice? How are you going to deal with this elimination process?
Well, all of the above. Yes, punctuality, attitude. The coach is looking for specific things. Fitness. The first day of practice, Mr. Macefield did a fitness test. And so he'll be following up, monitoring to see the improvement, because that's one level. A game is 60 minutes, and we expect our players to run for 60 minutes. And so we want their fitness level up to that point. So yes, all of those would be part of it. Your skill will come into play. But attitude, punctuality to practice, your fitness level, all of these is what we are looking for.
And you might have a couple of practice matches as well?
Well, most definitely. Most definitely we'll have some practice matches. We wanted to have one this week, but it's not going to happen because of the governor having a big function on Thursday. She's a past netballer, and she's part of this 50th anniversary of the, yes. And so they're having a big thing in St. Kitts on Thursday from 5 to 9, and we expected to be a part of that. And so,
speaking of which, right, a little bit of an aside, but did any of our Nevision heroes, sheroes, make it into that historic team? Was Pipson a part of it?
To be honest, Curtis, I'm not sure. But this is 73 and 78. These are this, and I'm not sure.
Now, speaking of aside, the big World Cup was held recently, and Australia just managed to narrowly edge out England. And before that, Australia just managed to narrowly edge out Jamaica. I'm really proud of Jamaica. Your thoughts on the tournament gone?
Well, Jamaica has been putting in the work. I could tell you. When we went to the World Cup qualifiers in October of last year in Jamaica, Jamaica actually fielded a B team. Because of their ranking, they automatically qualified for the World Cup, and the B team blew out everybody. And so the A team, they did extremely well. I've sent a personal message to the president, Trisha Robinson, already to congratulate her and her team. I think they did extremely well. I think they're back up into 3rd place in the world ranking now, and for Jamaica to be ranked 3rd in the world, that has to be a good feeling.
And losing to the champion team by what? Two goals? I mean, that's serious. So after this tournament in Antigua, as we wrap up this interview, Ali, what's next for netball in St. Kitts Nevis?
Well, Curtis, I must tell you, when we get back from Antigua on the 9th of October, we have 1 week, and then we have to St. Martin for the Battle of the Saints on the 18th of October until the 23rd of October. And then right after, we're going to our local league. So
Local as
In St. Kitts have its tournament, Nevis have its tournament, yes. So that is what is ahead of us right now.
Okay, well, I just want to thank you on behalf of the netball fraternity in St. Kitts and Nevis for the work that has been put in by the SK Netball Association. And we certainly look forward to, well, as I said, look forward to what obtains in the future. A quick question on what about netball in the schools?
Curtis, that's a whole interview by itself because as we speak, we are working on getting a coach out of England, Violet Murray. We have been in contact with her. We initially we wanted to get her for a year to work with schools. Then we seems to were able to get her for 2 months, but it was not fitting to what we wanted, and so we gone back to the original plan of trying to get her for a year to work with under 13, under 16, and under 19.
Well, thank you so much, Ali, and we look forward to good reports coming out of Antigua. I'm hoping that they'll be streamed live. I think the Dominica tournament was streamed live, and so every now and again, of course, we'll be putting some clips on NTV Sports showing when Nevis won.
Well, I think it's Nevis. Yes, yes. And Curtis, I can tell you, we have a good squad. I think it's I've seen a lot of these Caribbean islands played. I've been to a lot of tournaments, and the players we have are good. Are good. If we just get them to discipline themselves. That was one of our biggest challenge in Dominica. And I think this is what we are nipping early, and I think we are on a good path.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Ali. We look forward to some great reports.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.